Hi, and very welcome to a video series on how to work with Blockstates in Java Minecraft resource packs. This is episode 1, and what we're going to talk about in this video is how, as you can see here in the background on the stones on the wall, how you can add block variation to your blocks in your resource pack using Blockstates. Here we have a regular stone block. What we're going to do next is to make a few textures for this stone block, so I'm going to jump into Photoshop and make 3 different versions. Then we're going to make a resource pack, and then apply the block states to the regular stone block. So I've gone ahead and made the texture for my stone block in Photoshop. Then I've duplicated that into 2 more layers. So we have one layer with a bit of an orange stone, and then one layer with 2 slightly darker red-brown stones. They are, of course, as you can see, all the very same design, but the color change may be what we need in order to be able to tell them apart when they're in the game. Now let's put them in a resource pack and load that resource pack up in Minecraft. Okay, let's get cracking. If you want to learn how to put together a resource pack, I have an entire video of that here on the channel. You can follow the link in the description or here on the screen. I have also got you covered with a bit of a guide that you can use yourself to put it together and to the use that you want to. But for this video, let's jump into the resource pack folder in your file browser, then create a new folder called Blockstates. We're going to make a file called pack.mcmeta. Just copy the information I have down in the description below and put that into this, and that's going to work all fine for you. Create a folder called Assets. Create a folder called Minecraft. Create 3 folders, Blockstates, Models, and Textures. In Textures and Models, make a folder called Block. In Textures block here, I put together my textures for this stone. We have stone, stone 1, and stone 2. I'm now going to apply this into the Minecraft world so we can see them in game. Well, straight from the get-go, you're going to see that we have indeed our custom texture on this stone block. But this is just because we put the stone block in our resource pack folder. If I were to place some more of this, it ain't going to do much. But you can see something that's quite interesting, and that is that the block has been rotated around a bit. See here? It is flipped back and forth, and this is actually already coded into the block state of stone within Minecraft itself. But this is not what we want to have here. I want to have my custom models to this, and also maybe I want to use this rotation thingy. Well, let's take a look at what exactly we can do in Blockstates. Alright, so within our folder Blockstates, we're going to create a new file that we call stone.json. This is just a text file, and in the background here, I've opened it up for you to look at. What we have is essentially a search path through Minecraft/models, and in this case, block/stone. If there is a stone model in stone, that's now going to be the model that's going to be presented into the game world. If we make this anything else, it's going to use whatever else we define it to be. By default, this is going to show Minecraft's regular stone model unless you've made one yourself. So if you just make a stone texture, Minecraft is going to divert to using its regular stone, and that one has a path to the stone texture. It's a bit of some extra information for you to put in there, but this is where we're going to add a lot of extra edits. Now, doing this is going to overwrite the custom rotation that we saw in game. And what I mean by that is if I open up Minecraft, we go back into it, and I update the resource pack as we currently implemented it, you're going to see that all of that custom rotation is now completely gone. Now we only have a texture scaling perfectly next to itself. Let's add our other textures to this and see what that looks like. Alright, it's time to work some magic in the models folder. We're going to open that up. Remember we made a folder called block. In block I have now created 3 other text files. We have stone, stone 1 and stone 2. Since I have 3 different stone textures, I want to have 3 different models. Now there aren't really models because these ones are utilizing something that's already built into Minecraft. So if we take a look at that, we have the parent right here. This parent is a pre-made block that is provided within Minecraft itself. Cube all is essentially all of the blocks in the world that looks the same on all sides. So if we make a block the parent, like this, that's the model that's going to be used in the world. Then all we got to do is to just implement a texture path for that. In stone 2, my texture path is block/stone 2. In stone 1, my texture path is stone 1. And stone just has the regular stone as its texture path. Now, with all of these 3 models, we can start defining them in our stone.json block state. We see here that our first model was Minecraft block stone. Aha, sweet. So essentially, all we should have to do is to add a comma here, and then paste a new one, and add a comma, and paste a new one, and then rename this one stone 1, rename this one stone 2. Now, this is not going to work. And let me show you what happens. We jump into the game, we update our resource, this is going to give us purple and black blocks. What? But we just caused it to call for those models. Why is it not working? Well, let's jump back into here for a brief second. If you take a look at what we have here, we haven't said that this is supposed to be an array. We're trying to place all of them at the same time on top of one another. So what we're going to have to do is to add hard brackets into this file. One there and one at the end here, I believe. Yep. Now, if we save with the hard brackets in, it's now going to know that all it has to do is to pull one of these for every block that it's been placed. And it's going to randomize it because they are all currently just added like they are. So we jump back into Minecraft with that saved. We update the resource pack once more with F3 plus T on our keyboard. And now you're going to see that we have a random assortment with the actual custom colors that I've made in Photoshop as well. They're randomly sprinkled about. There isn't a set pattern to them. You can see how these two are down here, but there's a spread up here. So now we created a dynamic block. That's simple. We have variation in our block structure. Now maybe we want to add some more variation to it. What we have done so far is to add 3 different block designs to one particular block when it's presented in the world. So we have 3 models that at random are picked. Well, they're not really picked super at random because they are at least divided into an equally big portion of chance to be presented at a certain block location. So currently, all blocks have a third of a chance to be presented at a particular block location. Now, we can change that with a weight value within our file, within the Blockstates file, that is. And we can also rotate these blocks around. This is what it is without rotation applied. Now I've gone into the Blockstates and I've actually added a copy of every of these blocks, and that is rotated 180 degrees around the y-axis. The y-axis makes so that what is currently lying flat on the ground is going to face in the polar opposite direction on the ground. So if I update here, you're going to see that there's been a change to what we see on the board of stone that we had in front of us. Now, there may not be a lot that you'll tell, but you can see already that there's some diversion that's been going on from what we had prior. So if you go back and forth between this scene and the previous in the video, you're actually going to see that there's a lot that has been changing. One of the ways we can actually tell it is by the fact that the light source that I initially applied is actually scattered around a bit. It is not consistent across all of the blocks anymore. It's actually, visibly spread around. It comes from different angles and rotations. Now, let's also add a weight value to this to really change up how likely it is that certain blocks with certain rotations are going to apply on our model. We're going to jump back into the block states right here, and I'm going to add a weight value. So we do the quotation marks, weight, like that, and then a column, and then we add our weight value. Now, the weight values works like this. If I make 1,000 here, it's going to be very likely for this one to appear. But likewise, if I don't add anything to the others, they're also going to be 1,000 by default. So whatever weight value you have, we need to apply similar weight values across the board. And these are going to be all added up. And then the size of the weight value is going to be what's distributing the blocks within the scene. So that's a bit of math, but let me explain it in detail. I'm going to add weights to all of these blocks by doing this. Copy that, copy here, here, and paste here. If I make 100 here, and I make 100 here, the total value of weight currently is 200, which means that these ones have a 50% each to be presented. If I make 100 here, we now have a third. If 100 here, we now have 25% each between those ones. 100 here, okay, 20% each, and 100 here. So now it's a sixth of a chance because the weight is equally distributed. So all of them have the same chance to appear across the board. But if I make this one 600, this one 1,000 actually, this one 2,000, it's going to be most likely that this particular block design appears. It's going to be slightly less likely that this rotated version of that block design appears. And it's going to also be fairly likely that this particular block design appears, but not so likely that any one of these appears because they have so much lower values in comparison to their counterparts. I'm going to make this one 600 as well. We're going to save that and jump back into Minecraft and update, and you're going to see what I mean. The one block we're going to see the most now was the original stone design, because that one has the highest value. And as you can see, the main prominent block is our original stone design. We can even tell because it's actually Bit like it was initially, flat here along the entire edge, more or likely the same block all the way over. So that means that the portion of the block that had the most percentage through the total add up and sum of it all is the one that gets presented the most in our world. This is a bit of how you can really customize the world with block states, but you can also rotate your blocks across X and Z axis the same way we did with Y. All you need to do is to change this right here to Z or X, because those are the three axes we're working with in game. Now that ain't gonna do much of a difference right here, cause it's still the same block, so yeah. But you could add rotations in several directions on one block, if you felt like it, by adding once more, but not necessarily across the y-axis twice. That's gonna override itself and become nothing. But things like that you can do. If you found this video helpful, well, do leave a like and let me know down in the comments below. Are you looking for custom models every month? Well, in that case, check out Patreon. I've just started up a Patreon page and I have a bunch of cool stuff that's going to be added in the future as well. And when it comes to these Blockstate videos, if there's anything else you're wondering about, or if you want me to go into more detail on something, well, just head over to the community Discord and give some suggestions or wishes and wants. Likewise, there are more videos coming on the subject matter, and I believe we can make an awful lot of cool stuff happen with Blockstates. So, without further ado, subscribe today if you aren't already a subscriber of the channel, and I'll see you around in the next video. See ya!